How to get your boyfriend back. 6 simple tips to attract your ex-boyfriend back. Don't give up, there is hope. If you've been wondering, how do I get my boyfriend back? I may be able to help. It's just way too easy to make a ton of mistakes when you're going through a breakup. Unfortunately, if you're not careful, those mistakes may mean that your relationship is over for good. If you follow these simple tips after you've broken up, you can avoid those mistakes and be able to keep the door open to a reconciliation. Before we get started, click the link in the description below to know this one secret obsession that holds the key to winning a man's love, attention and total devotion for life. Even if you did make some mistakes, if you put these tactics to work for you, it may still be possible for you and your ex to reconnect. 1. For one thing, you have to ask yourself, what went wrong? Now most people will have a knee-jerk response of, I don't know. The truth is that in almost all cases you do know, you just don't want to admit it. It's usually a case where the person who claims to not know what went wrong is usually the one most at fault for the relationship ending. Of course, both parties share some of the blame, but usually one partner tends to have done more things wrong than the other. It's the partner who's done the most wrong that seems to have the least idea of what went wrong. Before you can do anything, you have to be willing to stop finding all the things your ex did wrong and start to concentrate on the mistakes you made. Once you've isolated some of the worst mistakes and behavior, you can invest some time in trying to change yourself. No matter what happens with your ex, if you take this time you will become a better person, and that is a good thing. During this time, try to have very little contact with your ex. If you are calling them all the time, you won't have time to really work on you, and you won't give them time to really know what it would feel like without you in their lives. They need to face that cold hard reality. So, stay away from your ex during this time. 2. Now that you've worked on some of your issues and you have a better handle on yourself and your emotions, you should talk to your ex. Call them on the phone and tell them that you've been giving your relationship a lot of thought and you think you've come up with some answers. Ask them if they'd like to meet you. If they say no, then you have to just tell them goodbye. I know this will be hard to do, but you can't force someone to want to be with you. All you will accomplish is turn whatever lingering affection they have for you into dislike, and I doubt that's the way you want your ex to think of you, is it? Of course, if they say what you want to hear and they agree to meet, you've just been given a second chance. Don't blow it. Set up a time and a place to meet. Keep this meeting casual, just relax and enjoy each other again. Remind yourself how good it felt to be together before the problems started. If all goes well, find another time and agree in advance to talk about things on a deeper level. It might even be a good idea to set up some ground rules about your talk, such as not dwelling on situations of the past but only the overall problems. In other words, no finger pointing. Just try to resolve the issues with calmness, love and respect. Of course, you have to be very careful that you're not just a little lonely and depressed and that is the only reason you want your ex back. That is not a good reason to try to reconcile with someone. You also don't want to even consider getting back with your ex if there has been any type of abuse, whether physical, sexual, or verbal. If you've put up with that from your ex-boyfriend, you need to get some counseling on your own before you enter into any relationship, otherwise you will likely only continue the same vicious cycle over and over again. Here are the things you will need to know if you want to reconcile with your ex. 1. First, don't call or text him morning, noon, and night. Give him some space. You don't want him to think of you as some needy woman. That is not a turn on, and it's a good way to push him away even further. 2. Be honest about the problems in the relationship and what part you played in them. I don't mean sit around with your friends and complain about all the stupid things he did. I mean you concentrating on you and all the stupid things you did, and how you can make changes. 3. Once you've given him some space and given the shortcomings of your relationship some honest thought, contact him. Tell him that you still care and that you'd like to get together to talk. 4. If he says that he feels the same way, great. If not, then tell him you're sorry things didn't work out, that you still care for him and you hope he can find happiness again. I know it would probably be easier to eat a bug than to say those things, but it's important. You have to show him that you really have changed, and if this really is the end, you want him to remember you like that instead of some screaming crazy woman. 5. When the two of you meet, make sure to keep things light. Under no circumstances should either of you bring up the past. Instead, just get to know each other again. If things go well, agree to meet again, and then you can discuss the changes each of you is willing to make in order to make the relationship work. 6. You may want to find something to help you through this process. Either a self-help book or the aid of a therapist. It's just so easy for the two of you to start back down that negative path of blame and resentment that you were on before. Having a guide can help prevent that before it starts. How do I get my ex back? This is the most common thing many people think about after a breakup. Follow these tips and you will greatly improve your chances of doing just that, getting back with your ex. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel and click the bell button to receive notifications.